Well, my name is Tyler Lypkie. I'm a lawyer in Edmonton, Alberta. Our firm is called Lypkie Henderson, and a major focus of our work here is in the area of employment law. I'm very proud of the fact that over the years we've helped hundreds of Albertans navigate some very difficult employment law situations. A common situation that is encountered is that of constructive dismissal. That's a legal word. It comes across, maybe perhaps as a technical word, but the bottom line is it's simply a situation where the employer has unilaterally, that means on their own, without any agreement, has made a fundamental change to the terms of the employment contract. Really what that typically involves is a change to the compensation the employee is receiving, say a reduction in wages, a reduction in pension benefits, or perhaps a reduction in a compensation structure such as a bonus or commission structure. It can also take the form of changes in the actual working environment. It could be a geographic relocation, it could be a change in reporting structure, or perhaps a demotion. The bottom line, though, is it is a fundamental change. It truly changes the nature of the employment relationship, the nature of your experience in the workplace from day to day. And as a result of this, you may be in a situation where essentially it's as if the employer had fired you, and there may be legal options for you as a result of this. However, it's very important that you actually determine that in fact you are being constructively dismissed. Often a minor change, say a small change in compensation or a small change in reporting structure, isn't sufficient, isn't such a big enough change to actually justify constructive dismissal. And in that situation, if you claim constructive dismissal and it's in fact not the case, well, you're basically quitting your job and you're giving up any entitlement you may have had to a severance package or other rights relative to your employer. So it's a very delicate decision and requires proper and timely legal advice in order to determine if in fact you have been constructively dismissed. But if you have, it may lead to legal action or certainly negotiations with your employer, which certainly can be to your financial benefit. So if you're in such a situation, the question is, well, what do? You think you may be constructively dismissed. Is that the case? Is it not? I mean, obviously you want to sit down with the lawyer to talk about those details, but you want to keep in mind a couple of things. The first thing obviously is it has to be a major change. Small changes generally on your own, you can pretty much determine whether it's going to be in the ballpark or not. Probably aren't worth your time investigating further. The second thing is you don't want to agree to the change. A fatal flaw in any constructive dismissal action is an agreement where the employer says, okay, I'm good with these changes. If that happens, well, you've agreed to it. It's no longer unilateral, and the cause of action for constructive dismissal is gone. And lastly, you want to take timely action. Another problem in constructive dismissal actions occurs where people wait too long. They sit on it for 6 months, for a year. The exact timelines are not clear, but if you take too long before calling a constructive dismissal, before acting on it, you can be deemed to have accepted the change, and therefore your cause of action is gone. The contract has changed and you have no further remedy at that point in time. So these are all very important considerations. As you probably can guess, from here, if you're in such a situation, you want to sit down with a lawyer. You want to talk through the situation and the various options that may be available to you. And we're more than happy to meet with clients. We do this all the time to analyze their situation, to outline the roadmap essentially regarding the various options that are available to them if in fact they may have been constructively dismissed. So if you're in such a situation, give us a call. We'll be more than happy to meet with you and discuss your situation in more detail.